All new at 6 tonight, data just released from the governor's office shows gun violence continues to trend down, both across New York and right here at home. In fact, so far this year at the state level, the number of shootings decreased 9% compared to 2024. Shooting victims also dropped by 15%. City of Buffalo saw similar decreases. So I took this new data to two of the leading anti-gun violence voices in our community. You'll hear from a Buffalo councilwoman who believes investing in gun violence prevention is a long-term solution. But we begin with the leader of a community peacekeeping group, optimistic about these downward trends.
That's always a positive thing to hear when the trend is going down.
Pastor James Giles, the CEO of Back to Basics Outreach Ministries and coordinator for Buffalo Peacemakers, reacting Tuesday to new data showing a decrease in the number of shootings and shooting victims in the city of Buffalo.
We've had a market downtrend of gun violence.
According to New York State, Buffalo police report that between January and April of 2025, shooting incidents with injury fell 6% compared to the same time period in 2024, with the number of shooting victims dropping 16%. Pastor Giles tells me he believes a number of factors are making a difference.
Law enforcement had made some very substantial arrests, just in terms of getting that element off the street. But in terms of the preventive measures, we have several community-based groups out here that are doing intervention, interceding in oppositional warfare with young gangs and people in general.
Pastor Giles says one of the programs making a difference in curbing gun violence is the HEAT program offered by Back to Basics and Buffalo Peacemakers, which works with at-risk youth in the city.
It is probably, of all of our programs, making the most impact just in terms of reduction of violent acts, one against another, reduction of shootings, reduction of firearms being carried, and reduction of firearms being used.
Everybody's at the table on this one.
Maston District Councilwoman Zanetta Everhart praised the work of our community-based groups in curbing gun violence, while also highlighting the $347 million investment in gun violence prevention just passed in Governor Hochul's New York State budget.
One of my first pieces of legislation as a council member was to create the Office of Gun Violence and Prevention in the city of Buffalo. And we were already revving up that office, right? We've already begun the hiring process for that office. But with the news that funding is coming down for New York State and our programs, I'm super excited.